everyone.
Hola todos.
Hi everyone.
I'm originally from Venezuela,
St. Peters, Missouri.
We are your fans from Philippines.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Orlando, Florida.
Happy Emily Awards.
Love you.
Bye.
Hello friends, welcome to part 2 of the Emily Awards. This is where we focus on the best eye products. If you missed part 1, definitely check that out. It's a full video all about face steps, going from primers through foundations, powders, concealers, blushes, bronzers, highlights, face palettes. Everything related to complexion is in that one. So you're in part 2 right now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you also to everyone who has been contributing their holiday traditions videos for these Emily Awards. I've just been randomly picking them from that Instagram story post that I did. Asked who was interested, and I'm trying to involve as many of you as possible in this. And I just love it. We are a community here, and it's just great to have your presence in this video as well. So the way I do the Emily Awards, I try to name a drugstore and a high-end favorite for every category. Sometimes there isn't one in drugstore or high-end, and if I don't have one, I'm not going to force one. Now, if you notice I don't have one and you want to recommend a product that you think I should try for the upcoming year in the comments section, you know, let me know. I just want whatever I share to really be what I feel is the best of the best.
Hi, my name is Dana. I'm from St. Peters, Missouri. That's just outside of St. Louis. My favorite Christmas tradition, one of many, is all of the girls in our family for years have come together and we exchange a Christmas ornament. And now every ornament that hangs on my tree is not only an ornament, but it is a memory that is precious. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Starting things off with eyeshadow primer, a multi-year award winner. For good reason. I do try some other primers here and there. I actually do, but Milani eyeshadow primer continues to be my favorite. So yay, this is the first step of any eye makeup look that I do. I mean, after brows. Before I get going with eyeshadow, this is what I'll put on, and it takes a very small amount. And I feel like I have a high respect for products that are little goes a long way. It's nice to know you're not going to burn through the product quickly. I mean, I get a tiny amount on my finger, I blend it between the two, and I put it mainly on the lid, but whatever is left over goes in the crease and above. And I really feel like I have good staying power with this one. Now, you might have a different skin type or different things going on with your eyelids. Maybe you get really, really oily on your eyelids. Maybe this doesn't work for you. For me, in the summer months, sometimes I do get oily in that area, but I feel like this really does help me. And I really prefer to do this as opposed to just having some concealer there or some other type of emollient base underneath. I really think this is the best way to go. It makes your shadow go on and look more vibrant, and it just helps it last longer.
Hi, my name is Michelle Gordon. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. Since 2009, one of my favorite holiday traditions has been to watch the Emily Awards. My other favorite holiday tradition is ice skating.
Hardest part of this particular video was figuring out what my actual eyeshadow favorites were, because I feel like I have so many different eyeshadows that I really, really love. I do break this category down into 2 subcategories. So I have drugstore and high-end, and I name a couple for drugstore and a couple for high-end. I think when I first introduced that idea, it was the thought that one might be a smaller eyeshadow grouping and one might be something bigger. But I just think with so many options, it's good to name a couple. And for drugstore, I know, like, I love Wet n Wild's eyeshadows. For example, the 10-pan palettes, the 5-pan palettes. Like, you can't beat Walking on Eggshells. You can't beat Nude Awakening. Those are so good. I know I've talked about them. I know you know that they're good. But there was just this thing fighting with me in the back of my mind as I looked at my list of products, and I thought, you've got to also think about the thing that you put on and you literally love every single look. Like a satisfying palette. A palette that you reach for on days when you're not even doing a video and you just want something that's like easy and always works. This NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals here. I love this palette. I really, truly do. I think they've got a great formula going here. When they reformulated these palettes, I always enjoy the look that I turn out with, and that will be the common theme with every eyeshadow that wins in this video. It will be the fact that there's never a time that I use it and I'm questioning, like, oh, did that? I guess I didn't really like that. I want consistent love, consistently using different shades and always liking what I come out with. So a really special thing about this one is because there are some great like light mid-tones. This is a real good crease mid-tone. These are a little bit lighter and they're great on the border of things. You've got a matte and shimmer balance that's so good in this one. Let me bring it in closer. The depth and richness from burgundy to like plummy brown, it's so good. And they call it warm neutrals. Yes, they definitely did splash in some warmth there, but you can totally get a very basic look without using one of the rusty shades as well. This one, for some reason on camera, I feel like it's looking a lot like these, but it's more brownish actually. But yeah, I love this palette. I also love their vintage Jean Baby one that incorporates blues. I did a video this year with that one and it was so much fun too. So they got a great formula going, but this one, just like a standard, really good quality eyeshadow palette with shadow textures that just feel top tier, high end. I love everything that I turn out with this. So I feel like it's worth the Emily Award. Thinking about maybe a little larger palette or just like another totally different option, I once again, I know I said this last year, but I once again need to give credit to the ColourPop Mega Palettes. If you are wanting a broader spectrum of shades, like ColourPop has a great formula, and I consistently enjoy the way they group together shades in their Mega Palettes. Whether it's a themed kind of palette like the warm one, Smokin' Hot, I love that. Let me just get that out and show you. I keep them all together in a certain area. I love to pull for these. Look how it's this big of a palette, but yet there's no color overlap. They didn't throw in a bunch of like, oh, well, this shade's pretty much just the same as this other. Everything's unique. I love the peach to plum. I will always love that. That is a gem. But specifically in this video for my matte lovers, I wanted to mention the Gone Matte palette. That's actually what I chose to use today for a really smooth, really nicely contoured classic matte look. The basic matte neutral wardrobe. What a service. What a service to the makeup community to have something like this. Your warm row, your less warm kind of neutral row, your really neutral browns, your rosy types of shades, cool violets, cool grays in the easy gradient where you're like, okay, I need a little shade up, I need a little help blending it out, you know, you go to that row. I need a highlight, I go to that row. I want depth, I'm down in here. These are just so good. And bare necessities, you know, I love that one. If you're thinking, but I need color, they've got much more vibrant, colorful options too in this range. So just look, if you go to ColourPop's website, look under the Mega Palettes category. So much to choose from. Quality is never a concern. And I feel like there will be a palette for you in that whole entire line. This is a whole range of palettes. I'm highlighting one, but it's a whole range of palettes that I think is done really, really well. For my high-end eyeshadow picks, I feel like it amounts to a line of eyeshadow that is really a pure favorite, and then a palette in particular that I want to mention that's just like a certain palette favorite, you know? You'll see what I mean. The all-in-all kind of formula favorite, I think, has to go to Sydney Grace. I love this Unveiled palette. This was a great find this year. Kendra Matthews, this was a collaborative palette with makeup artist Kendra Matthews, and she just did a beautiful job with this. Yes, it is giving me that bridal basics vibe, but also anyone's basics are in here. It's not an overwhelming amount of shades. Some people might find the ColourPop palettes, like I mentioned, to be a little bit overwhelming with the size, but here, you know, we've got 5, 10, 15 shades, and I like how each row kind of is staying in a certain lane for a look. If you just wanted to stay there with the rosy, stay there with the brown, stay in the cool neutrals. It's a really good mix. It's very thoughtfully put together. There's plenty of depth, perfect amount of midtones, and the perfect splashes of shimmer. It's not a shimmer overload palette. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 shades, I believe. It's just those 4 that have the shimmer. It's a primarily matte palette. I like that balance myself. And you got a mirror in here too. Travel friendly, and as Sydney Grace always does, there's a light version, which I've shown you the light, but there's a deeper version as well, where say if you're a deeper skin tone, you can get a little more intensity in some of those basic shades. You can look at the website and you'll be able to like compare and see what the differences are. But it's a formula thing here, all in all, because I like so many of the things I've tried from Sydney Grace, and it's a formula you can always count on. The utmost pigment in the matte shades, very easy blendability, a texture that is pressed just right, I think. It's not too firm, it's not too soft. And then shimmers that just stay in their lane as a shimmer. They're not trying to be something like wildly glittery or, you know, okay, here we put in a texture that's really gonna make you work for it. I value ease in a product, and I feel like Sydney Grace offers the ease with the highest highest quality possible. So I love what they're doing. Browse their website, look at some of the other palettes. One of their most recent releases was like their seasonal palettes. They did the Eastern Fall and the Northern Winter. Those are great too, a little bit smaller palettes. Unbreakable Bond, I know I talked about that specifically in the Emily Awards last year. That's a beautiful palette too, with neutrals and a few little more popping shades maybe compared to this. You get into some navy and some copper in that one. But I look at this and I just think, what a classic. What a palette whose vibe could suit someone for a lifetime. Like, I love that. So yay, Sydney Grace, you're slaying it. Keep up the amazing work. And then I mentioned I had a certain palette that I just really enjoy, that I'm very drawn to, that I've used outside of videos where I've featured it. I mean, I've done a look with it in a video that I adored, and then I've continued like creating looks with this guy. And it's Too Faced. It's their Happily in Love palette. I really liked this one. I would love to hear your take in the comments. How did you come away feeling with this palette? For me, I totally enjoyed it. The packaging gives me this feeling as well, but like classic Too Faced. They will put out a palette and you'll have a lot of shades that really suit that particular vibe, right? Okay, we're talking apples. We've got some reddish shades, but they do a really nice job, I think, of putting in these supporting shades that are a little bit different, maybe a little bit louder than you would have expected, just a little off the beaten path, and you find that you love working with those combos. And I think this is a great holiday palette. I mean, yes, you are getting reds and greens and it's literally some holiday colors, but it's a great anytime palette too. And every time I open it up, I feel like it makes me want to branch out just a little bit. Even though the basics are all checked, you know, matte basics, mid-tones, light, all the basic boxes are checked, but I love this light green that they've given us in here. I like the pink, you know, a whole row of just kind of rosy plumminess that I wouldn't have even really expected in this palette. The mustardy shade. I've enjoyed this palette a whole lot. I feel like in every eyeshadow I've talked about so far in this video, they really represented classic basics, things that always work, things that, like I just said, you could wear for a lifetime. There's another side of me that loves to open a palette and feel like the options might be kind of endless here. And this isn't a huge palette, but I look at it and I see there's a lot of different looks that could turn out from this. And that's why I wanted to mention it in the Emily Awards, because it's just very representative of a quality I like in eyeshadow palettes. And then on top of that, I think the quality in the palette is very good too. A lot like the NYX palette I mentioned, it's one of those where I feel like I come away loving every look that I do.
Hi everyone. Hi Emily. My name is Victoria and I'm from Orlando, Florida, and one of my favorite Christmas traditions is getting to perform here at the theme parks in their Christmas shows. I remember getting to see these shows on Christmas Eve as a little kid with my parents, and getting to grow up and be a part of them now is so special and amazing. Merry Christmas everyone and happy holidays. And now, time for some more blush.
We're going to talk about best eyeliner, and you might have a chuckle with this because it hasn't been a big eyeliner year for me. I don't by default put on eyeliner with every one of my eye looks. Now, do I still have eyeliners that I love? Do I know the difference between a good one and a bad one? Yes. It's really become a category of my eye makeup where I've gotten into some alternative methods like a shadow stick. That's really been my preferred eyeliner method, and we'll get there when we talk cream shadows. But I know not everybody approaches their makeup the same way as me, and somebody's probably watching this video wanting a great eyeliner recommendation. Here's a great liquid liner pick for me. It's from Milani. It's the Stay Put Tank eyeliner. Allegedly, the system inside this eyeliner is going to keep this liner juicy and fresh longer. I have had it on hand for a long time, and I can tell you it hasn't changed one bit, and I like this brown. I'm wearing that today with my look, so I've got that Gone Matte palette on, which I didn't specifically point out shades, but I was kind of in the warm brown place with it. And then I have this across my upper lash line, and it's a really intense dark brown. If you've ever wanted something like that, I mean, that's what this is. The tip is nice and long to where you can kind of get that stamping effect that I like with a liner pen. I don't want to have to just work off the tip. I want to be able to somewhat lay it down and make the process feel a little bit quicker, more foolproof. Staying power has been really good for me. This wasn't an instant love. It was kind of one of those like, oh, okay, another liner pen. And then it sort of grew and grew on me over time. So it got itself to the top spot by the end of the year. The other other thing I'm going to mention is an eyeliner favorite, and it's from Sephora, but it's actually Sephora brand, so I don't know if some of you even consider that drugstore. But the story with this is this was a total recommendation from you guys. I think I mentioned in my face video there was something that I did earlier in the year where I asked what products do you guys think I should be trying? What should I be using? And not only was this product recommended many times over, but also this specific shade, this deep brown color called Tiramisu of the Sephora 12-hour colorful waterproof eye pencil. This product is so smooth, and I remember getting it and being like, okay, well, it's a brand new pencil. Of course, it's going to be really smooth and easy to use. Well, I've had this on hand for months. I've used it. I've sharpened it. It's still just as easy, you know, with hardly holding on to the pencil and it's making strokes, okay? So you all are wise. This was definitely worth trying. It's great for my eye pencil people. I assume the whole line is probably very good, but this deep, rich brown, I could see why that would be a very enjoyable shade for a lot of people. Giving you that close to black richness, but not full on black. If you can have something on hand for a while and it's a liner pencil and it stays just as easy and creamy to use months later as it was when you first bought it, that's something to take note of, because I've tried pencils from even some really good brands that just can't stay fresh. So I agree with you all. I think that's a total hidden gem type of product, or maybe it was just hidden from me for a while since so many of you knew about it, but look into that line. Also, it stays really well. Sometimes I'll put that on my lower lash line and kind of smudge it out before it fully sets. And yeah, you can totally count on it, but it's real easy across your upper lash line too, even going on top of eyeshadow, because sometimes eyeshadow just slows down certain liners a little too much. Not that one.
Hello, Emily,
Hi Emily, my name is Kershi and this is my mother.
Natalie, and we are your fans from Philippines.
And for one of our favorite Christmas memories was surprising my paternal grandmother, Natalie, at the stroke of midnight every December 25 because she happened to be celebrating her birthday on Christmas Day. She has since passed away back in 2019, but every year since then, we visit her at the Memorial Garden to celebrate Christmas and her birthday together by having a big Christmas feast with family. And it's always a big celebration of life, love, and family together. Thank you so much, Emily, for having us. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Love you.
Bye.
For best cream shadow, this is where we're talking about shadow sticks for me. That's my favorite format of a cream shadow. And this one hurts a little bit because I love the hard candy shadow sticks. I love them. But there is an elite formula that came out this year. It's from L'Oreal and they're called LASH shadow sticks. And they like got even softer. They got even smoother with it. They got even less pressure needs to be applied with it. Now the hard candy, I can't take anything away from their staying power, but these just go on like the glide is so good, even better than high-end pencils, even better than like Makeup Forever, let's say. The thing that would be nice to see them do is branch out beyond just this classic neutral kind of bronzy range that they've put out, but they're so good. They're so very good. We're in a real brown place right now with this video, but Brown Abyss, and let's not forget they're cooling too. They feel cooling going on. The light pressure. I mean, I like to just let you know that I'm holding this, I'm barely holding on. And look, you're getting full color. These have kind of a satiny finish, and if you're wanting lazy liner across the top, I highly suggest Brown Abyss because it's going to be dark enough to contrast with most eyeshadow looks, I think. And that can be pretty smudged on the lower lash line, but if that's your primary zone, I would go maybe a little lighter than Brown Abyss and go for Magnetic Bronze. That's what I've got smudgy, soft on my lower lash line. No need to top it off with a powder. No need to take any special care with it. They go on and they set. So I'm getting both of them swatched here for you. I am applying just a bit more pressure with the Brown Abyss so you can see the color tone more. There's Brown Abyss, the darker one, and then there's Magnetic Bronze. So those are the ones I've gotten the most use out of lately, but they have lighter shades. There's some really icy colors that work well like around inner corner. But if you like working some of those shadow sticks as eyeliner, those are a couple of the best shades to have on hand. And you could still work with Brown Abyss on the lower lash line. I would probably just be prone to smudging that a little bit more because it is so dark. But I mean, those are soft, 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 really easy to use shadows. And I think they're ahead of the game, even surpassing a lot of high high-end brands. Now, the high-end brand that I will mention for Best Cream Shadow, this is a multi-year award winner, but Laura Geller. Funny how Laura Geller is just slaying it. She took multiple categories in the Face Awards with her various baked products, but the Kajal Longwear eyeliners, like, there's another area where she's really doing a great job. And while I love the texture of those L'Oreal ones, something I really like about what Laura Geller's doing is she works in some beautiful jewel toned options, okay? If you want rich plum, if you want navy blue, if you want a deep green, she puts out sets where they're loaded with jewel tones, or you can just buy them individually. A great just classic one, dark brown coal, always gonna work well. It's a lot like brown abyss. These do offer that sharpener tip. I don't think L'Oreal's, do they have that? No, L'Oreal's don't do the sharpener tip. It's just a little darker than brown abyss, but a really similar finish with that too. It's got the little bit of sheen. But just an example, you know, if you're wanting to use these as that lower lash line color that will not smudge, you know, amazing staying power. This one's called Ocean Blue. And look at it there, a very approachable blue, a great thing to mix in if you've got a navy eye look going on, or you want to use that across the top. I mean, they're just super user-friendly. You can keep that tip much more defined if you want to. Big fan of those, and that's really been my chosen eyeliner method, has been those products, and I don't know if I stressed it enough, but they don't smudge. They set and they don't smudge. You know that trend that's going around? We listen and we don't judge. We set and we don't smudge.
Hi everyone, happy Emily Awards. My name's Megan from Ohio. One of my favorite Christmas memories is waking up my mom and my dad super early on Christmas morning and going and see what Santa brought us underneath the tree, seeing him eat all the cookies and the milk that I've left out for him and made personally for him, and just seeing all the wonderful gifts that I have received that year. Thank you so much guys for watching the Emily Awards, and let's get back to them.
Best Lash Primer. This category is getting to be a little bit like Milani eyeshadow primer. You know, there's just a beast in this category that's very hard to overtake, and it's Estee Lauder Little Black Primer. It bugs me a little bit that I haven't been able to come up with a drugstore thing that can hang in this category alongside this product, because there have been some. I mean, I've tried a handful of different lash primers. I've even tried dark tone ones this year, and nothing can do what this does or really come close to doing what this does. So this is the thing for the curl challenged lashes. After you curl them, you put on some of this, and it will help hold your curl in place. And I feel confident in saying, regardless of what other mascara you put on top, this is gonna hold that curl. Also, you can seal your look with this, which you can't do that with white primers. Seal your look off and keep it from flaking. So it's a product where you're gonna put it on and be like, did I just do anything there? Did anything just happen? Well, it's sealing in a curl like hairspray. But then also, I would say the word is texturizing your lashes. If you've got lashes that really struggle, it's giving your lashes a texture that any other mascara can build off of. And as I test various mascaras, of course I'm not going to be testing it with this underneath and be like, oh well, this mascara is great, because this does a lot for a mascara. And if I'm in the testing phase with another product, I'm not gonna give it that hidden boost of this underneath it. But just for day-to-day application, I mean, this is the gem. You can ask my buddy David, along with Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair, this is what I repurchase. It's still got one-of-a-kind status, and it's not for lack of trying other things, it's just that much better than everything else.
Hi, my name is Belki and I'm originally from Venezuela. And since stockings are not really a tradition where I come from, after we got married, I kindly assigned it to my husband and he took it to the next level, and it is now our very favorite tradition. He goes and raids the pantry and he finds whatever in there that he thinks we might like and stuffs our stockings with it. We get black beans, green chilies, candy if he finds any, pasta, ramen, anything. One time there was even a banana. It is our favorite. We absolutely look forward to opening it to see what he found, and it just brings so much joy to us.
Best mascara. I feel like I've tried a lot of mascaras this year, and I've relied on mascaras more to, you know, give me the look I'm after, as opposed to throwing on false lashes all the time. I really haven't used false lashes that much this year, and I like that. I think that's kind of freeing. Liking your look without having to put on falsies, it's a good feeling. But what mascara can take me there? What's really doing it for me? And I have a specific kind of lash. In case you're new here, the story is they're short, they're sparse, and they like to point down. So I need things that lengthen, thicken, and help them stay up. And while I wasn't able to name a favorite primer in my last category, funny enough, my favorite mascara does include a priming step. And I feel like as a whole, this mascara is able to give me my best length. So it's the L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar Red Carpet Black. No, that's not a new mascara to the market. I feel like I'd used it long ago, maybe when it was newer. This year, retried it, and I feel like I get my best length with it. I'm not sure if that's even really showing it. Maybe it is in focus, maybe it's not. But yeah, you're doing a two-step thing here. And it doesn't shock me that I love this, because back in my college days, I used Double Extend religiously. That was my jam. And I'm kind of wondering if this is the same thing, just a little bit reworked, but it's that primer. I swear this is different than regular voluminous primer that you buy freestanding. I feel like this dries faster. It doesn't weigh my lashes down as much. That is crucial in the world of primers. If your lashes don't like to curl, make sure you're not getting a primer that's so wet that it's just undoing all your curl and weighing your lashes down. But then that top coat, the way this comes out, L'Oreal let this brush keep some goop on it when it comes out, and that allows for a pretty quick build, but it's just got that gentle curve. My tube of this is on its last legs, and I'm absolutely gonna repurchase it. I feel like I'm almost out of the mascara side, but I really wanted to use it today, so I've got it on, but it was like barely hanging on. But really, it's about the length here. Great length. And maybe if you're like, I don't feel like paying Estee Lauder money to buy a little black primer, but I do want something that can help my lashes lengthen out, this is a good system they got going on here. Then my high-end mascara favorite, I have to say Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water. I mean, what other mascara am I using practically daily? Because this has a role. She's got herself a job, a specific niche job in my makeup routine, and it's lower lashes. I like it there because it's a tubing mascara, so it does not smudge, and it builds up just the right amount for me. It doesn't go overboard, it doesn't go underboard. I'm thinking of that clip. I'm very demure. I'm not in the basement, I'm not in the attic, I'm where you live. This mascara never does me wrong. There are some tubing mascaras that have smudged on me. I swear that tubing mascara from Milani, most of the time it's fine, but I think it's smudged on me before. I don't know what it is, but this always works. One tube lasts me a long time, more than the 3 months that is average for mascara, and maybe some of y'all are like, well, you should throw it out anyway. But it's been like a good couple years I've been on this stuff and nothing bad's happened to me. But tubing mascara means when you go to wash it off, it's not gonna come off in like a smear on your face. It's gonna just like lift away from the eye, like almost in little rubbery bits. So I like that there's something that can wear that strongly. Like the waterproof mascara market is probably hurting because of stuff like this, because there's no struggle to remove it, but it lasts just as well as stuff like that. I love this. I can count on it. I've repurchased it multiple times. This is what the brush looks like. I should probably show that. It's a short bristle, but like natural bristle brush. And it's really good about not making me like fight with my lashes. I don't feel like, whoa, one swipe, those lower lashes look too overloaded, because it's a fine line. I don't want a lot of heaviness there. I just want some definition. So it could be good on your upper lashes too, but I feel like you can really get the most bang for your buck if you use this on just the lowers and then pick something else you like from the drugstore on the upper lashes.
Hola a todos, soy Yamel, soy de México y quiero compartir una de mis tradiciones favoritas. Se llaman posadas, es una fiesta en la que celebramos la vida, la unión familiar y la venida de nuestro Señor Jesucristo. As you know, Mexican is plenty of food, music, and I want to share with you, and I want to say thank you, Emily, to let me part of your world.
Best brow product, and we're talking about filling in the brows with this one. We have another category for a brow gel or a brow mascara. I've already alluded to the fact in the past several months what was coming in this category, so no surprise if you keep up with what I talk about. CoverGirl Clean Fresh Brow. This is the Nano Brow Pencil. I wear it in dark brown, and I'm in love with this. How have I not run out of this yet? Because I've used this so much. It's such a skinny pencil. Most other skinny pencils I would have flown through by now, but this is even skinnier than Brow Wiz and every other Brow Wiz dupe that's out there. Oh, I take off the first cap. It's the spoolie. Yes, you get the spoolie. Gut reaction on this one, that's gonna take forever to work with to fill in my brows because it's just so small. No, for my specific brows, they're already pretty thick, and what I really needed, and I didn't even know I needed it until I got this, was something that would be small enough to really reach in within the hairs and fill in those little sparse areas so I can really fill over that that scar, or I can really get in right in here that tends to be thinner than other areas. I'm doing less work with this because I'm actually hitting the places I need to go, not just vaguely going over my entire brow with a pencil just because that seems like the right thing to do. I'm really able to pinpoint. And also, I feel like this would be great for someone recreating a brow because I don't think it's going to get more hair-like than these fine little strokes you can get with this pencil. I don't know if you can even see how fine those strokes are that I made. Look at them next to the Big Mama shadow sticks over there. But apparently the texture is such in this pencil that it's not too dry, obviously, because I get it in my brows with ease, but it's not so creamy that it's like melting down onto your brows and then you've gone through the pencil in a month. I have used this so much. It's by far been my most used product and I am still not out. And I mean, look, she's still twisting up. There's a lot left. Okay, I don't even want to go any further in case she doesn't twist back down. Very, very good product by CoverGirl, and yes, you still get that spoolie on the other end. And if I was still in my normal skinny brow pencil world or just thinking about regular brow pencils in general, I think I would have had an easy time like finding a high-end favorite that would match up, you know, because I'm like, okay, I like this pencil from the drugstore and then here's a great one from high-end. But now this has changed the game for this category because I don't have anything else that's quite this skinny, and so nothing else is like being the other option. I've always said I'm not going to force anything into the Emily Awards, but this is the clear-cut favorite for brow fill-in.
I'm Tyler from Illinois. My favorite holiday memory is when I was a kid, about 12 years old. I was out with my grandpa at a store. It was like a Walmart, but smaller. And I fell in love with a BB gun, and he was getting stuff at the store, and I just was glued to it. He had to come back and get me, and this was about a month before Christmas. Backstory, Grandpa not involved in gift buying in any capacity in our family. And somehow on Christmas, we see all the gifts, there's one from Grandpa, and it's that BB gun. And so it was just that it's the best gift I've ever gotten, that it came out of nowhere, had no expectation I was going to get it, and then he thought to run back to the store and buy it. My favorite.
Getting into the brow gel products, it's definitely Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt for me. Multi-year award winner, very smart product. I will not apologize for naming this multiple times. I've used other products. Funny thing, I've used what I believe is ABH's alternative to this, a newer thing that came out. It was like they were trying to dupe this brush practically that Maybelline did, but it was always too goopy for me. I wear this in medium brown. Let's explain the brush. Look at the bottom part of the brush. The bristles are shorter, okay? They're gonna hold more product. They're gonna let more product come in contact with your brow. The top row of bristles are longer. Less product is in there. When it comes through this tube, those are the bristles that are getting more cleaned off, and then they're great for kind of fluffing up. The hold on this is extreme. You will feel it. If you've put this in your brows, you know there's a freezing kind of feeling. One of the best holding brow gels that I've tried, for sure. But it's got that tint. It's got the color. If someone said, Em, you can only use one thing in your brows. You got to figure out one product that can fill it in and hold. This could fill in and hold because the color is opaque enough, but yet the brush gives you the control that you really need. So yeah, I love Brow Fast Sculpt. A tube lasts me a very long time. It's the smartest brush in the brow game, I feel. They're doing it the very best. I have a co-favorite in this category for those who are not wanting color in their brow gel, and it's also Drugstore, and it's from CoverGirl, and it's again part of that Clean Fresh brow line. It's called a gel wax, and I really like this because it's able to kind of beef up the brow hair a little bit without leaving a white cast. A few brands have tried putting out things that aren't straight up gels. They're creamy in some way. This has that creamy kind of waxiness. Look at the teeny tiny brush that they put out, but it holds really well, and it looks like it would get your brows looking cloudy, but I mean, my brows are pretty much as dark as they come, and it does not create any kind of cloudy dry down on your eyebrows. So if you're wanting something that might just be a little bit thickening, but not by way of adding color, just the texture of the product itself, like this would thicken up more than NYX Control Freak. Still love NYX Control Freak for a clear brow gel, but this actually adds thickness in your brow hairs. So my friends, that wraps up part 2 of the Emily Awards. I am so glad that you were with me for this one, and definitely check the info section below. That's where I linked every product I've talked about, and then also I linked to a video where it's been applied. And I think those videos will be very helpful, especially for the eyeshadow palettes, so you can see those in action and you can really understand better what I'm talking about. Especially if you haven't been with my channel for that long, those links will direct you right to the additional info you may need. So thank you again, my loves. I will see you back here for part 3 for lips. And by the way, in my lips videos, I do tend to try on everything in those videos, so it's a lot. I'll see you then, and yeah, thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.